Would you join me for a little refreshment? Everyone's invited, of course.
It's a positive film. It has heroes and villains, and that it essentially is a fun movie to watch. It's been a long time since people have been able to go to the movies and see a sort of straightforward, wholesome, fun adventure.
Well, it's a fantasy. It's not science fiction so much as it is space fantasy. And it's about people. It's finally about people and not finally about science.
The story, when you actually put it into words, is only so much nonsense to hang a great visual experience onto. It's the stuff that fairy tales are made of.
Sort of boiling down religion into a very basic concept. The fact that there is some deity or some power or some force that sort of controls our destiny works for good and also works for evil.
Marvellous, healthy innocence. Great pace, wonderful to look at, full of guts, nothing unpleasant. I mean, people go bang bang and people fall over and are dead, but, no horrors. A sort of wonderful freshness about it, a kind of like a wonderful fresh air.
It's got whatever you want it to be. It's pure entertainment. It's like a roller coaster ride, and it can be interpreted as long as you enjoy it, which is the intention.
And welcome back to Generation Skywalker and our last show of the year on New Year's Eve party. And it's just going to be a look back at 2025 and a look forward to 2026. Now, I'm delighted that I've got the whole crew with me this evening. So let's start off. He's just come in he's taken his coat off only moments ago because he's a busy man. He's been sorting out all the logistics for Christmas deliveries. It's Mr. Dan Burgess. Dan, how you doing, mate?
I'm all right, you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm very well, thank you. I'm just thinking by saying that, you've sorted out all the Christmas logistics, people are probably thinking you're working for Father Christmas now or something, but that is not the truth. You are just a very busy man this time of year.
Yeah. I don't normally record in December, but yeah, so you're privileged.
We are, right, okay. Brilliant. And I'll go straight with Stu. Stu's with us as well. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm all good, my friend. All good. Dad, you need to go and get yourself an eggnog or something because I feel like you're sounding quite sad.
I'm all right. I'm counting down. You're giving the game away that we're recording this before Christmas, but yeah, I'm all right.
You need a virtual hug.
I've got 7 more sleeps, mate. Of this, I was going to swear then, but yeah, and then I'm free for it. Then I'm free.
Oh, I love you, big man.
I love you too, Stu.
Don't you forget that.
Okay.
And completing the team. We've all been together. We've all physically been in the same space this month. It's been amazing. We've had lots of time together already. Peter Lee, how you doing, mate? It's good to see you again.
You too. I'm very good. How you doing?
Yeah, man, it's good. In fact, we've had a great little time in December so far. We'll talk about Father Strum and everything later on, and all of the boozing and stuff which went on with that. But folks, it's a New Year's Eve party. As I said, I want to look back at 2025 and look forward to 2026. But fellas, New Year's Eve party, right? We are now in the Star Wars universe. We're creating a New Year's Eve party, or actually it might be individually, first of all, because we've all got different tastes. Peter, you might want something. Dan, you might want something. Stu, you'll no doubt there'll be Twi'leks involved. But where I'm thinking about, where would your Star Wars New Year's Eve party be? And then I'm going to ask you a few questions about what type of party you're after. So first of all, I'm going to come to you, Stu. Where would your Star Wars themed New Year's Eve party be in the Star Wars universe?
I'm definitely going to Jabba's palace.
Oh, right. Okay, like that. I like. All right, right. Okay, so we're going to pause on that for a second. So Stu, his party is in Jabba's palace. Peter, mate, where is your party going to be?
I think Mothma's hangout. Is that the embassy or is that her apartment? Or I can't remember.
Right, okay.
But Mothma's gang, we'll
yeah,
call it.
let's see where you're going with this. Right, nice. Okay, and I'm now thinking about what you're into, and yeah, there are Twi'leks at Jabba's, right? So that will make sense, right? And now I'm going to go to Dan. Dan, Star Wars universe, where would your party be?
My disdain of The Last Jedi, I'd go to Canto Bight.
Really? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
In a casino, dress up, would be quality.
Yeah, all eras, all passions.
You're just thinking because DJ's already there, aren't you? So you've got your DJ. I can see where you're going, Dan. You're very clever. You're very clever. Logistics.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, so that's where we're going to be. Now, what I want to know is what type of party is it? So, Peter, I'm going to come back to you because you said Mon Mothma's thing. Now, she's had the sit-down dinners. She's had the lovely dinner parties, and we've had a proper big rave up. So, what type of party would you have for New Year's at Mon Mothma's?
I think we're getting rave. I think she would have been organising the wedding, right? So I think we get the same DJ in, and that's
right.
The way it's got to be, surely.
Liking that. Okay, all right, seeing where you're going with this. Stuart, how's it going down in Jabba's?
Yeah, as you see it in Jabba's, bit of live music, live band, can't go wrong. Everyone on it, dancing Twi'leks everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere, every colour of the rainbow. And then kind of like, as everyone gets really drunk, we all jump down the pit and try and ride the Rancor.
Oh.
Kind of like... So, yeah, gets out of hand, gets messy. And then we all just, snuggle up to Jabba and sleep.
Not sure which one I want to go to yet. Dan, what about you, mate? What's going on in Canto Bight?
We're getting suited and booted and going to the casino for the night.
He's going to throw some chips down. Get amongst it.
Yeah. All the rich and powerful people of the galaxy.
Wowzers, I'm loving this. I didn't realise.
Dan, if you remember rightly, so Jez is probably there because I think Jez looks a bit like the character that's trying to put coins into BB-8.
Brilliant. He's quite a large chap, isn't he? Who burps a lot. Is that right?
He's tiny.
He's a little tiny alien dude.
He's short, looks like a little bigger than BB-8, but he's got like glasses on.
Isn't he got a big sort of?
And he's drunk, and he thinks BB-8's a fruit machine.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, nice. There are some three absolutely distinctly different parties here. So, who would be on the guest list? And I'm going to go straight back to Canto Bight. Who's going to Canto Bight? Who's got the dinner jacket? And who do you want for all eras, all passions?
What, are we talking Star Wars, or we just? Okay.
And me.
And you? But just anyone really, other than.
I want to know what party I'm going to go to.
Everyone's invited except for Rose and Finn.
All right, interesting. All eras, all passions. Fine. Yeah. Okay. So everyone's invited. All right.
Yeah. It'll be anyone who's got a few quid in it to spend, which is, I imagine, I've always wondered that. Where does Luke Skywalker earn his money? How do these people get by? How do they eat? And
moisture farming.
Yeah, farming. Yeah.
Yeah, but he ain't been. He's far burnt down in the first film. He's got through 2 more films since then. Is
the rebellion. So there's
they're giving him money, are they?
Cash. All the moving around stuff and this and the other.
Okay. Yeah, well, you can come and bring all that with him and gamble it.
You can overthink these movies as well, folks. Right, okay, that's good stuff, Right, okay, now I'm going to come Peter. Right, who is going to be at Mon Mothma's rave?
It's going to be there. I think it's going to be like an Andor end of kind of keeping on theme, obviously.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Like an Andor end of series sort of get together as well. We haven't seen each other since the sort of early spring.
Yeah.
Well, when we finish filming, so get everyone together.
Can it be pre-Brasso death? Spoiler alert. Sorry, folks. Because if I'm going to go to that one, I'd like Brasso to be there. Is that right? Can he be on there?
Yeah, Brasso will be there. He'd be good fun.
Amazing.
Luthen, obviously. I think he kind of like a party. He likes dressing up, right?
Bix, without question.
Bix has got to be there.
Yeah.
Or Mothma, obviously, hosting.
Yeah, cool. Sounds like a good party, that.
I think Cinta's going to make it. She's got a few drop-offs first on her Uber job, but yeah, she was going to swing by later. So,
No one's enjoying that music though without a bit of acid, are they, Pete? So like,
you,
it's an out of control New Year's Eve party. That is.
you need someone.
And you got a double drop, Pete, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think everyone. Yeah, we have to get someone to supply the chemicals, shall we say, and then we'll get boogieing.
Right. Okay. Sounds really good. Apart from the chemicals, not allowed to in my job, but no, all good. I'm down for the nog and the nog only. So yeah, amazing. Stuart, I'm going to come to you, mate.
So mine's quite restricted. Obviously, we've got Cy Snoodles and the Max Rebo band. Cy singing the songs with those lips. I'd probably get a New Year's Eve kiss off old Cy.
Oh yeah.
But the rest of the guest list is just me and Squidhead, and it's just invite only for Twi'leks, basically. So we'll allow Ula in. And the dancing girls, not all of them are Twi'leks, but it's a very select few, and a Jabba would love it. Just watching them dance around on chains.
Interesting, right? Okay, we have gone full spectrum here, haven't we, on this? So right, okay, nice. So you've already mentioned, because I was going to come on to music, but as you said, Max Rebo, so Jizz music, because there they are, the Jizz Whalers. I'm not being uncouth here. There is. So Max Rebo band is apparently a jizz band in Star Wars lore. So that's what you're gonna have. So it's you
that one.
You in Jabbas with Jabba, but Squidhead and just loads of Twi'leks. Okay.
Me and Squid are just throwing down the moves. I can just imagine us dancing together.
Yeah.
Doing the Macarena.
Nice. Oh right. Okay, lovely. That's and just to finish it off, and Stu, what is the drink? At Jabba's.
We're going to be on like funky coloured cocktails.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
You know how to make a man moist, mate. I think I'm quite liking that one. I'm gonna come back to you, Dan. Music. Any music of choice? Any drinks?
We're gonna fly in. We're gonna fly in, figuring Dan and the modal nodes.
Nice
from Tatooine.
Nice. Class. Yeah.
I know that Pete's already going to pick. I know what he's got on his playlist, so I'm going to take the next best thing.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's a good choice, and a choice when they do start playing. There's always a cheer from the bar. So yeah, I'm liking that. And then Peter, just to finish off your New Year's party, then. So yeah, what you're wearing, who you're wearing, drinks. Music. What have you just got to cap off your Mon Mothma special New Year's Eve party?
Probably we got Niamos, the club mix of that, just on constant repeat. Everyone loves that. Everyone goes off to that.
The little camera droid coming down, and it's fellas. I think you've just created 3 amazing New Year's Eve parties there without even thinking about it. I don't know which one I want to go to. I want to go to them all. Thanks very much for that. I'm feeling all ready for a New Year's Eve party, lads. Brilliant stuff. Okay, fellas, we're just going to briefly look back at 2025. So in chronological order, there's been loads of Star Wars fans. People talk about golden age of Star Wars and stuff, and all Star Wars is dying, all Star Wars this, that, and the other. We've had a great year. I think, personally, we've had a really, really good year. We've had a strong year. So from an events point of view, let's think. If I think back to the beginning of the year, I think one of the main things for me, Echo Live, 29th of March. So we've had 2, 29th of March and later in the year, the 11th of October. Stu, Echo Live, sum it up in a nutshell, mate. How's it been this year, and what are you looking forward to next?
It is a phenomenal event. It's just, we say it every time we cover it, just going from strength to strength, just growing. So we were at both events, and we went to both of the Friday night events. I think you were with me on both of them, Jez, weren't you? Both earlier in the year. which are always great evenings. Nice three course meal, bit of live music. They give you some great free gifts on the tables. Sitting on the table with a guest, you get your photo taken with all the guests. It's just a nice, well organised evening for charity. Wayne Totty does an awesome job. And then the Saturday, obviously the new venue. This year we were in an old Debenhams, which gave Dan an opportunity to sell things like massages for two and stuff on his stall, which I don't know whether you sold any, Dan, but I know you were trying to flog things like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't, unless you've gone to an Echo.
Yeah.
I don't think you realise how vast it is,
No.
how much vintage is in there, how much modern's in there, how much Lego's in there. Every era of toy. There's stuff from the 90s, loads of Power of the Force 2 stuff. It's so broad, and there's like proper rare items in there as well. It's such a good event, and if you haven't been yet, you're doing yourself a disservice. You really do need to get there.
Absolutely. In a nutshell, Echo Live on Facebook. It's a free to go to event. If you're going after 12 o'clock, something like that, I would say it's Europe's largest Star Wars collectors fair of vintage Star Wars, modern Star Wars. There are cosplayers, there are opportunities there for kids, for all generations. There is a big sort of family theme to it, and they do raise some money for charity. So it's a cracking event, really, really good, and definitely something to look forward to next year. More on that later, I'm sure. Okay, so after the first Echo Live, we had Star Wars Celebration, which I was really lucky enough to go to in April, which was an entirely awesome event in April in Tokyo. And in fact, I'm not going to talk about that too much because we dropped a really, really good show about that on the 24th of April earlier on this year. And then not long after that, yes, I have been massively spoiled this year, but then again, I did turn 50, I went on the Galaxy Tours tour in Tunisia with my wife in May, where I got to see all the old Star Wars filming locations. And again, I'm not going to say anything else about that because we dropped a show on the 26th of July called Generation Skywalker Go on Tour with Galaxy Tours. And but after that, one of
wait, Jez. I just want to say something about that. Go and listen to that show because it is brilliant. It is brilliant hearing your experiences, but also talking to other people like Echo, like Mark Daniels and Lee and Grant. Everyone that's been there, it is phenomenal. And our stand, our table at the last Echo was opposite the Galaxy Tours thing. It looks incredible. And your show you did is, I haven't been there. I wasn't on that show with you, but listening to it, it is sounds incredible. So do go and check out that show because I think it would give people a kind of an itch to go and do it.
Okay, thanks, mate. When we talk about some of our shows later on, I'm sure that one will come up again. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Thanks, man. It was great. Bringing it back down to the UK though, there's an event which is proven to be more and more popular now with Star Wars collectors. And whenever I think of this, I think of you, Peter, because I think every time I've been to this particular place, you're there. And tell us all about the Sandown and the Barry Potter Fair.
Yeah, it's great. Very traditional event. I don't know how many years it's been running, but it was certainly running early 90s when I was sort of starting collecting, and it was well and truly established then. So I expect this goes well into the 80s, maybe beyond. But it's very close for me. And I think if anyone sort of in the London or southern areas, it's worth kind of heading to. It's, as you say, Barry Potter Toy Fair, and I think they have hundreds and hundreds of stalls. I think it's like 600 or 700. Take over the Sandown Racecourse, the inside bit. And it's great. I think there's a mix of, you've obviously got some sort of lot of the die-cast dealers and train dealers, but you get a more and more popular culture creeping in there. Lots of Star Wars, modern and vintage. And I think there's some dealers who are quite regular, but you also get some people just turning up, selling their collections. So you never know what you're going to find there. And you guys are, I think Dan and Jez and myself were at the last one. And friends of the show, John Aves was there. We were sort of picking up some stuff from Vectis. All the auction houses are there showing what they've got coming up. I like it. I get there in half an hour and it's like a good sort of social. It was almost turned into a bit of a coffee morning, the last one. We were kind of like congregating in the cafe, kind of yeah, just catching up. It's just got a good vibe, and I think we've mentioned possibility of having a table, didn't we, at some stage this year? So
I think we are going to have a table at the next one. So this year it was in February, May, September, and November.
yeah,
Free
that's
parking.
standard. Yeah, every year, same months.
Yeah, free parking, and as you say, really, really good vibe. So, Crumbs, we've had 2 Echo Lives, a Star Wars Celebration, we've had 4 Sundowns. Then in June, 7th of June, Dave Tree puts on at his place in Fordingbridge, where we've had the farthest froms in the past and more, which was an absolute treat, where Dave manages to gather loads of behind the scenes people. We've had Barry Gingell on the show before for our Andor shows, more on those later, but gathers a team, the winning team, let's face it, the Emmy-winning team behind Andor, into this very, very intimate affair, where there's 50 or so of us in this town hall, learning about all the behind-the-scenes goings on of Andor, and that was an absolute treat. It really, really was good. The Andmore experience. I went to it with our friend Grant Criddle. And just stayed a couple of nights in Fordingbridge, but there for Andmore, and it was brilliant. And people were travelling from across the globe to go to that. So as a Star Wars fan, it was brilliant. Dan, you've been to a couple other sort of individual, I don't want to say bespoke shows, but not things like Echo or Father's Drum, just one-off shows and sort of individual shows, haven't you, this year?
I went to London Film and Comic Con in the summer.
Yeah, that's not what I was thinking, because that's obviously even larger scale. But yeah, all right, okay. How was that?
There was that. Yeah, I mean, I went there for a few autographs. Got a couple of Andor autographs. I got the girl that plays who's it, Mon Mothma's cousin. What's her name? And the other dude out of in the first season, who's the big guy, the Scottish guy who used to beat up Little Mo in EastEnders.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, Alex, yeah. Is that Sergeant Mosk?
Alex Ferns.
Sergeant Mosk?
Yeah, Mosk, yeah. So I got both of those autographs, went there specifically for that. I've got the the Celebration Andor Season 2 poster, so I've started getting that all signed up by Andor cast. So I went there, got those two. And then last month in November, I went to the Smugglers Surrey Star Wars Weekender. Grant actually came down for that as well, and they had around on the Saturday. It was a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. I only went on the Saturday, but on the Saturday they had around a dozen or so of the cast from Andor there, and picked up a few more autographs there. So yeah, that was they're the kind of 2 events I've been to. I mean, that Smugglers event was actually, there was quite a fair bit of vintage there. I mean, I think a few of the sellers that had been at Echo a few weekends before had gone to that as well. Saw some familiar faces there. I think I picked up a snow speeder while I was there. Nice ESB Kenner snow speeder in the blue box that I needed. So yeah, I actually picked up something I was on the lookout for. So yeah, it was good. They've got another one on next year as well. Same weekend, 1st of November.
They've been around for quite a while, those Smugglers events. They've been in Kent for years and years and years. They Kent and Essex. I can remember the second ever Farthest From I went to. I stopped at one in Romford, I want to say, but I might be wrong. Definitely began with an R in Essex. Romford does fit the bill. But yeah, they always have quite good guests. You went to obviously an Andor specific one, didn't you, with the guests? But yes, Smugglers do an awful lot over the months if you look at their sites.
Sort of to cap off it from a collecting point of view and from a Star Wars fandom point of view in the UK, it was on the 6th of December, the final Farthest From. Dave Tree informed us in, I think it was early November, that this Farthest From, after 25 or so shows, would be the last one, as he's now sort of moving and evolving into different areas. Clearly, Andmore proved that there was a market for something new, and Dave has evolved with that. And then this weekend, so it was Farthest From, then moving into Thank the Maker, which was a 10-year celebration and look back at The Force Awakens. So first of all, Farthest From in a nutshell, fellas. How can you just sum up what Farthest From has been and how it is that this is the last one in a nutshell?
I think Farthest From as an event was the most community-driven get together you could get. I mean, the memories I've got from Farthest From, I don't make, well, maybe celebrations, but you don't make those memories from many other events. I think we've had, I think without something like Farthest From, we're not sitting here tonight recording this podcast. Because when I joined the Star Wars Forum UK podcast, I did one podcast, and Farthest From was our first time as a group we all met, who was on that at that time. And I just think such a small kind of, how can I describe it? Kind of like, I can't think of the word what I'm trying to say.
Well, it would encourage you to talk, wouldn't it? I remember the first few times I went and just knew no one. The first time I walked in there, I knew no one in that place. And then because it isn't the size of an exhibition hall, you wander around and everyone in there is like-minded. So by the time when you've had a look around, you just start talking. It's just got a community feel, isn't it? So you get chatting, and then you just and then someone else joins the conversation, and then it grows from there. So yeah, totally. For my sort of collecting journey, coming back into it in sort of 2014, 2015, that was the first event. I think I'd been to one of the Comic Cons or something like that, which are pretty soulless if you're just wandering around on your own. But the farthest from it was perfect size. You would end up talking to someone. If you were willing to talk to someone, you would end up talking to someone and get involved, you know.
It was like an expansion of the forum, wasn't it? It was kind of like
Forum Live.
Dave always said it was a love letter back to like those 1990 shows that he used to go to. And intimate is the word I'm looking for, but at the time that was all you had in the UK, and you had some terrific. I mean, that's where I started I bought my first ever mint on card there, from Ian. Do you know what I mean? There's so many things where collections were built from Farthest From, and it's more than just a show. I don't know. I mean, maybe we need a show to celebrate and go back through them, because it evolved as well as a show in a small town hall.
Yeah.
But from talks and learning and just, I mean, people flying from America. Gus Lopez was at the one we've just been to.
Yeah. He was at the second one as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's been to 4 or 5, hasn't he? And you're like, these people make the journeys. We've had Matthias from Sweden. We had Shane Turgeon came over from Canada for it. I mean, there's been massive guests there, but people come and make that kind of it was a bit of a pilgrimage, wasn't it, for us UK collectors?
Yeah.
I think at the time. And I think Echo's come along, and it's I think Echo's a very different beast to Farthest From. It is all about the buying and selling of toys, where Farthest From was something more than that.
Yeah, for sure. I like the idea of a whole show dedicated to talking about some of the stories and bits and pieces, because if you think about it, the Star Wars collecting environment, the Star Wars collecting sort of the environment we collect in and communicate in has changed massively over the last 10, 12 years, and Farthest From was there before that. And, you know, I remember, you know, from the forum, just on the very, very first Farthest From, just saying, hey, right, I'm driving there. I'd never met any of these people before on the forum. And because it was in the middle of nowhere, I was like, right, I'm driving there on this day. If anyone wants to stay at mine the night before, like, you know, split mileage or what have you, come and stay at mine. And that's as naive that may have been or what have you, but that's Ian Sanderson stayed at my house that night. Chris Mann stayed at my house, and Grant Criddle stayed at my house. I remember picking Grant up from Didcot train station in my car, like we were. It must have looked really weird. Like, Grant, yeah, hop in. Like I just picked him up.
How strange is that as well, Jez? Can you imagine doing that in another walk of life? Just like randomly inviting people you've met in effectively a chat room on the internet.
Yeah.
Come and stay at my house.
Well, the thing is, I had said this. So my wife and kids were away that weekend, and I just thought to myself, I'm not really concerned about certain things. I mean, at the time I was living on a military base, and I was just like, right, if any of these people are absolute lunatics, I'll just throw them out and they'll get kicked out, and it won't be a problem. But it's just, so I felt quite confident in my own skin to do that. But it was just forging of those great relationships. And then, you know, the adventures which we would all have going down there, you know, hiring motorhomes, camper vans to go down there and turning it into that weekend event. And the stuff, you know, Toy Tony, the way that got dropped, and then now, when Jason Joyner just turns up with a load of stuff as well and sort of nonchalantly dropping things into conversation, and then when Dave Tree just produces this huge uncut board of tri-logo Star Wars card backs, and just all these different things which were happening there and then, and the vintage wonders which would pass through people's hands, and the amount of stock, pounds per square inch, in that small little town hall must have probably outdone Echo in some places with some of the things that were there. So yeah, it's been a great part of collecting history, and it's changed history.
I think it also it did help that you had someone like Dave Tree at the helm of it, who he has got phenomenal knowledge of this hobby. I mean, he's one of the stalwarts in the UK. He's got great contacts. Is so well liked across the board from around the world. To have someone like that with what he knows at the helm as well. Like you say, putting out like the tri-logo uncut sheet and stuff. Those moments were just mental.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just mental. Even when he pulled out his Bendham's collection, the most probably complete collection of Bendham's you ever see. Just mental. I mean, all those little things all the time. Just yeah.
It's the connections he's got as well. So the guests would always be top caliber.
Yeah.
And it would be something relevant. Like when the first one I went to, Matthias was just releasing the first book. So there was a talk and then the signing, and you're just in that world immediately. So, and it's a lovely place, the New Forest. Wow.
They said, Martin Keeler said it, didn't he? Thank the Maker on the Sunday, Jez. You're sitting in a town hall in a small town in the middle of nowhere, and you've got Pablo Hidalgo interviewing Neil Scanlon. And it's like, yeah, you're right, actually. This isn't some major city. You're 30 miles from Southampton. You're not anywhere near anywhere. And you've got these people sitting in this hall. I mean, we interviewed Steve Evans last Christmas.
Yeah.
Who makes all the decisions at Hasbro. He's sitting in this town hall. He's flown over from America. It's just mental when you actually sit and think about it.
I think we need to do a show dedicated to it, because if you rewind probably about 7 minutes, I just said, let's talk about Five Drum in a nutshell, knowing that we could probably just go off on one and say, and to ask us all to talk in a nutshell is probably really not doing us any favors, but you're absolutely right. But so this was the last Fathers From, and it was we had the Friday night to ourselves, and we had quite a good session, and then bit of a, is it fair to say, a subdued affair in comparison to the old heyday of Fathers From?
Yeah, let's be honest about it. It was a quiet event. I mean, you're going to go on to the Sunday in a minute. I think once upon a time, because it was the only real place to sell your Star Wars toys and get together, so people used to make that pilgrimage from all over the UK. I do think that, time of year, 2 weeks before Christmas, unless people have got plenty of notice to get down there. But I think Echo, those northern sellers probably look at it. I can come hardly down the country and sell more at that than coming all the way down, which is a sad state of affairs. And also some of those sellers, those early ones we're talking about. Ian Sanderson lives in Florida. He was a huge contributor to those early shows. And then you look at people like, I'm not even sure what his real name is, but Andy X-Wing off the forum used to always have a really nice stall. Andy Goulding always used to have a stall there. These people haven't sold there for ages. And it's just the state of the hobby. You've got to remember those eras we're talking about, these fantastic moments. That was when Star Wars collecting vintage was at its peak. We covered covered The Force Awakens this month. That boom at that point was never going to last like that. So sadly different elements have taken its toll on it. But I love going down to the New Forest, and I've missed one since number 3, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells a story about what I think of the show.
So thank the Maker on Sunday. Clearly the Fathers From and the Dave Tree Events Inc. has evolved. And what can you in a nutshell, Stu, tell us about your Thank the Maker experience?
So I didn't get to and more in June, but brilliant. Do you know what? Brilliant. I've just said to you about Neil Scanlon and Pablo sitting there having in a town hall in the middle of nowhere. But the whole event's brilliant. They had that massive, I don't know what it's called, the massive
Yeah.
the massive bloke that's got the girl with him who gets up and walks off, to obviously a bit like the Garandang kind of character, wasn't it, going and dobbing them in. But his costume was there, and just having that in that small town hall, like looking over the audience, was phenomenal, you know. And I sadly had to leave. Now, Dave, if you're listening, okay, please give us the date a little bit earlier, because I would have booked the Monday off. But I had to get back. I didn't make the whole show, but what I saw of it was brilliant. I sat and watched that stunt guy.
Yeah.
He was brilliant. It was brilliant to listen to, and I love listening to stuff like that. It's a phenomenal event. And it's a really, really good idea, really well executed. And I hope he runs with it, because I think they're brilliant.
Yeah, the Grungar. Walking in and seeing that huge
That what it's called?
creature, yeah, as you said,
just
it was
Google that, haven't you?
Yeah, I just had a quick look because on the day I was like, oh yeah, it's one of those. But it was just, it took your breath away a little bit, and they had various different power droids and bits and pieces out, and but it's really, really well done. It's almost one of those things where it's like our little secret in some respects, because Dave created and more. He had his Facebook page. And you're inundated, aren't you, with Star Wars content online, and then Thank the Maker comes up, and it's almost word of mouth, because there's no other advertising really which goes out apart from maybe some stuff said on podcasts and Fanta Tracks or what have you. But it is one of those things where, yeah, if he keeps on producing those things, be it Thank the Maker, be it something for Rogue One, be it for there's word of another Andor one or what have you. I'm sure if he builds it, people will come. But yeah,
the problem is you say word of mouth, but the place was nearly full.
Yeah, it was.
It is a small hall, so you don't need to advertise it much more. But
no,
no,
I'm quite happy with it.
I just think what it is, I mean, so Farthest From was this massive kind of collecting show, and Echo have come in and rivaled that, but this is a completely fresh take on anything we see in the UK.
Hello, what have we here?
Thank the Maker.
Well, if there's a bright center to the universe, you're on the planet that it's farthest from. I'm not picking up any cities or technology. Massive life form readings, though.
It's pretty far, but I think we can make it.
Fellas, whew. No, those were the events. Now, talk about Disney fandom. 2025. There's been loads come out. So stop me and buy one if there's anything which we briefly want to mention. But Disney, there's been loads coming out on Disney this year. So right at the very beginning of the year, Skeleton Crew, 7th and 14th of January, we had the final 2 episodes of the Skeleton Crew. So they dropped the majority of that before Christmas and in November, December 2024. But the final 2 episodes, we've not acknowledged Skeleton Crew at all, have we, fellas, so far this year?
No, I've still haven't watched episodes 7 and 8.
Wowzers. Okay, so we are going to have to look at it. Now's not the time to discuss why, maybe. We will do a deep dive on Skeleton Crew. It's one of the only shows which we've not done so far. So, Skeleton Crew. Anyone else? Any sort of major thoughts on that, or shall I just move on?
Maybe just move on.
I think so. Okay, right. So it was on the 4th of March.
Sorry.
No, please, no apologies needed. All ears, all passions, all styles. We'd love it. On the 4th of March, 2025, Andor Season 2 special look. We were getting ready, weren't we? There was huge hype, huge love. Everyone was loving, or majority of people were loving Andor. And we knew that Andor Season 2 was coming out just after Star Wars Celebration. So that sizzle reel, when that dropped in March, that was awesome. Just a lovely 2-minute little taster. Then 18th of April, Light and Magic Season 2 on Disney. So 3 episodes, 59 minutes, 62 minutes and 53 minutes, all about industrial light and magic of Disney. Now, personally, I've not got around to watching these yet. Damn you, Jez. I've not got around to watching any of these yet, and I should, and I'm upset with myself. But have any of you guys seen these? Peter, you've seen the first series?
The first series was brilliant, yeah, and obviously it starts with the forming of ILM, and the necessity of it to make A New Hope. So it goes back way back to then, and you've got so much footage I hadn't seen, lots of archive footage, and it's a really good watch. But this season 2, I think it starts around sort of Jurassic Park era, if I think so. It's sort of the digital era, and you move on to that from what I remember. So they're a good watch. Lots of behind the scenes stuff.
I watched it too. Sorry, I watched it too. It was all around the sequels.
Nice,
but it was good. It was good. It was a little while ago, so it's a little bit hazy. But yeah, it was from what I remember, it was worth watching.
But it was season 2 and/or season 2 that we were all getting that ready for. And a little bit crazy. Probably not enough time to talk about that, because even if I said in a nutshell, I know what we're like, and we'll be here for 15 minutes talking about and/or season 2. But I think from all of us, massive thumbs up, and I'm looking forward to doing an Andor season 2 deep dive when we get around to it. Anyone else got anything to say about Andor season 2? Best Star Wars ever, or anything, or let you down, or go on, drop one sentence from each of you.
I can't believe it was April. Where's that gone?
Phenomenal. It was phenomenal, and I can't wait to do the shows. Hopefully this time next year.
Yeah, I need to do it again.
What was that word you just said, Dan?
Phenomenal.
Do it again.
Phenomenal.
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 I totally agree with you, Dan. Just incredible. Just that whole those couple of episodes late in the middle, kind of. Go back and listen to the end podcast. They're brilliant.
Late in the middle. What does that mean?
I don't know. Move on. It's great.
Okay.
They're brilliant, though. That show's bloody brilliant. Love it. Yeah. Let's record more Andor.
Yeah, we're going to record more Andor. I've got so much planned. We've all got so many plans to record so many more shows. Tales of the Underworld. Now, so in 2022, there were Tales of the Jedi. In 2024, there were Tales of the Empire. And now Underworld. So 6 animated episodes, around about 13 to 17 minutes. Dan, I think you've seen these? Yeah.
I like these. I like these shows. I think we're not getting Bad Batch is all wrapped up now. Clone Wars is all wrapped up. So there's no animated show, but these are nice little light shows. Really, they're not a big investment in time. I think they're like 6 15-minute episodes or something like that. Top 6 10-minute episodes maybe.
Yeah.
This latest series is like it says on the tin. It's about bounty hunters. I think the first 3 episodes are about Asajj Ventress. Actually, it deals with a bit of deep canon, so it's about how she gets resurrected because she died in a novel. Apparently, I never read the novel, but apparently she died, and this is how she was resurrected. We see Obi-Wan and Quinlan Vos at the very beginning of the episode delivering her body back to the Night Sisters, and then it covers her resurrection. And then there's a story about her saving a girl who's force sensitive and getting her onto the path that we obviously hear about in the Obi-Wan series. So there's quite a bit to tie into various bits of Star Wars. And the second half is about Cad Bane and his youth growing up and how he became a bounty hunter, which was pretty cool. I quite enjoyed the episodes. I mean, none of it's essential, but it's good fun.
Yeah, as you say, it's world building, but critically, 13 to 17 minutes or so. So probably thinking about it, it's the sort of thing which I could probably just download on my phone on my Disney Plus account. And if I had a spare, if I had a spare little bit of time, I'd be like, chuck one of those on. So,
I thought it was good. I know it didn't seem to go down that well with some people, but for 45 minutes, I think it came out on like May the 4th or something. It was something to watch on Star Wars Day, I suppose. It was good.
Nice. Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy Season 2 then came out on the 19th of September. 4 episodes, animated Lego, 25 to 26 minutes. Anyone seen these? More animated stuff from Star Wars. Oh, lads, we've got some Star Wars to watch, haven't we? Right, okay, so after that, so Tales of the Underworld, Dan, you've watched it, the rest of us need to. Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy Season 2, none of us have watched it. All there is, all passions, all Star Wars. We've got some work cut out. Visions 3, come on, 9 episodes of anime between 13 and 23 minutes. Came out on the 29th of October.
Watched it.
Yes.
Stand out. Go on.
Do you like it? But is it something that grabs you?
I like anime. I like 80s and 90s anime specifically. But from these episodes, again, the last season I didn't think was particularly good at all. I quite like the first season. This is more back to the the Japanese vibe. The last season, it used so many different styles of animation. It was just, yeah, I just couldn't get my head around it. But the first episode, Dual Payback, is probably the best of the bunch. Like he's got the Ronin character in it again, so it's kind of what happens to him next. So that's worth watching. It's beautifully animated, looks fantastic. And the other one that stands out is the final episode, which is really, it's called Black, and it's almost psychedelic. It's just weird. It's basically from the point of view of the Tomb Stormtroopers on the Death Star when it's blowing up, and it's just mental. I can't explain it any more than that. It's mad. Basically, it's like they're kind of they're in a death throw, and the Death Star's exploding around them. It's bizarre, but just watch it. It's mental. And yeah, there's some other good episodes mixed within that. Nothing that really stands out as much as those two. I don't know what the episode's called. There's one when a girl's on a speeder bike getting chased by an attack. That's pretty cool. Some good animation in that, and it's just batshit crazy with the attack, like changing into like some transformable guns coming out the back of it, and crazy stuff. But it's all down to taste. If you're into that sort of thing, then watch it. If not, skip it. But there's definitely a couple of episodes. Those two I mentioned, Black and the first episode, the Ronin one, is definitely worth a bit of your time. 10-15 minutes of your time.
Happy days. Right, okay, nice one. Young Jedi Adventures Season 3 then came out on the 8th of December. So bam, 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 month after month after month, we are dropping content. So Young Jedi Adventures. Stu, I'm going to come to you with the youngest of childs. You watched any of these?
I'll be honest with you, Jez, okay, when you put my name next to this. What does he think? I did try to get my daughter to watch the first couple of episodes.
Yeah.
And it just didn't stick with her. I don't know how long ago that was. It's got to be a couple of years ago now.
Right.
So I've never watched them, but I think Star Wars has done quite a lot where they've tried to target younger kids, not just with like things to view, but also like toys as well. I mean, I'm not talking about us as kids when we're like 6, 7. I'm talking about young, and I don't think it ever really sticks or works. I mean, these might be lovely, but the fact that they've reduced from 25 episodes to 23 and now just to 7 kind of, I think, maybe tells a story, but I might be totally wrong. But I watched the first couple of episodes with her, but yeah, it didn't grab her, and she would have been about 5 or 6 at the time.
Fair enough. Fair enough, mate. And you're absolutely right. Yeah, as I said, 25 in season 1. 23 in season 2, then dropping down to just 7. Yeah, maybe that is the writings on the wall for that. However, when you reflect on the year of what's come out, so at the beginning of the year, the final parts of Skeleton Crew, the Andor stuff and preparing for that, then throwing back at Light and Magic, Andor, then Tales of the Underworld, so attractive for the bounty hunters, rebuilding the galaxy with the fun Lego, the Visions with the anime, then the Young Jedi Adventures. Wow, they are trying to appeal to the demographics, aren't they? They are trying to be not just all eras, all passions, all Star Wars, but all people. I think when you look at it like that, you're like, do you know what? Is that very just smart that they are just trying to get out and go to as many people as possible? But are they now adjusting and thinking, well, it's not working for that demographic, it's not working for that demographic. Now let's cater to our masses. Let's just, don't bite the hand that feeds you, maybe, and we'll start to see more of different content or less of a certain element, because some things are clearly working for Disney and some things aren't. But yeah, wow, what a year. There was a couple other things which came out on Disney Plus. I've just not watched at all, because it's all to do with Galaxy's Edge and Rise of the Resistance. Now, Dan, I had mentioned this to you just because you've been there. I don't think you've had the chance to watch these videos.
I did.
Oh, right,
I did.
Yeah.
No, but I thought they were going to.
I
thought they were going to be documentaries, but they're not. They're just literally a walk through Galaxy's Edge, empty Galaxy's Edge, which you never get to experience anyways because
Right.
it's full of people. But so it's a walk through the land,
Yeah.
and the Rise of Resistance is basically a point of view on the ride, and just goes through the ride. There's nothing there. I suppose unless you're really interested in looking at it, you couldn't go and watch on YouTube with people filming their trips to Galaxy's Edge. So it's a bit they're a little bit redundant, really. I suppose they had the content, they just stuck it up on there.
Fair enough. the content we want to see is like behind the scenes for Andor and stuff like that, I'm
Well,
sure.
yeah, I
But
mean that Rise of Resistance ride is phenomenal. It is, it is. I can't explain how good it is. It is. You'll probably never go on another ride like it in your life. It is that good.
yeah,
In terms of immersiveness, you literally take off from the ground and you land in the Star Destroyer and you get off the ship and there's thousands of stormtroopers standing there and it's just bonkers good.
but I don't want to watch it. I don't want to hear anything
And,
about it.
but I'd like to see is the kind of how they put it together and all of that. That would have been an interesting thing to watch. But yeah, it's not that. It's literally just getting on the ride and going through it. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Whew. So, fella, I mean, what a year. That's the end of that section. I think it's time for a drink.
Sorry, I think I've had a bit too much of Perrin's empty punch.
So, lads, 2025 has been one heck of a year. After having a bit of a sabbatical, having a bit of a break for some obvious reasons in 2024, and really sort of going off the boil when it comes to podcasts for a while. We didn't have a great deal last year. I think it's safe to say we've come back with a bang. And Dan, how many shows have we dropped so far this year?
Well, excluding this one, 34.
34 shows. I mean, that's when you think of weeks in the year and of some of the content which goes into these shows and some of the research and some of the analysis we put in, that is a considerable amount. You have to be proud of what we've created this year. Dan, in particular, you've done a significant amount of work on those old fossils, and we just want to have a quick sort of look back at the year for those people who might not be aware of some of our back catalogue. In fact, we've just produced an entire Generation Skywalker catalogue, which has got a hyperlink to absolutely everything that we've created, be it on YouTube or on podcasts, in sort of category order, in chronological order, in various different things. And that's on our Facebook page, We Are Generation Skywalker, which is a really, really handy resource. But if we were just to, I was thinking about, going on and reflecting on the year, some of our sort of favourite shows and why. So, I've given you a full list of the shows there. What are your thoughts? Dan, let's come to you first.
I think the read along. I'm just going with what we've the most recent shows we've done because they're freshest in my memory. But the read along show was a revelation for me. I'd seen those records at every single probably event I've ever been to and posted up on Facebook for years, but never thought to listen to them. And it was eye opening. It was good. I really enjoyed it. And judging by the feedback we got, quite a few other people did as well.
Yeah. No, I did love that. I mean, Stu, Pete, you weren't on the read along show. What have you got round to listening to that one? What are your thoughts on that?
It's worth a listen just for Dave Trees. Just the reaction from Dave and your reaction, and when you realise that he's on board with it. And I think when that comes together is quite special. Dave is like he's super passionate. Anyway, he's super passionate about all of this stuff. And when that sort of came together, and it's good. It certainly is a good listen. It got incredible feedback as well, didn't it?
Yeah, that really surprised me. So this is the read-along show. So it was the Rainbow read-along cassette, Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi. And what I did was I've got those original recordings. We listened to them one at a time, sort of introduced the concept, played the Star Wars one, debriefed the Star Wars one, played the Empire one, debriefed it, played the Jedi, debriefed it, and just had a general chat. It's not a long show at all. It's about an hour and 20 minutes or so. But it's good fun. It's full of nostalgia.
This is the story of Star Wars. You can read along with me in your book. You will know it is time to turn the page when you hear R2-D2 beep, like this. Let's begin now. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, the hope of freedom was kept alive by rebel forces fighting against the evil Galactic Empire.
I wanted to just scratch that itch, but I didn't quite appreciate how many people would be commenting on social media or coming up to me and sending me messages. I mean, they were so it and more. Karen Crompton, who was Thank the Maker. Um, I often see Karen at various different events, who's in the We Are Generation Skywalker group, and she said to me, I think she listened to that one about 8 times just because she loves those stories so much, and it was so full of nostalgia. So yeah, I love that show, and I will turn that into a YouTube show. So yeah, cheers, Dan. Nice one. Stu, what about you? What's flicked your switch show wise?
Okay, so I just want to first of all say, I mean, this is our 35th show of the year.
Yeah.
I've probably been missing the most out of us this year. When I look through that list, there's great big chunks where I was missing for some reason or other. But actually, I will single out a couple of shows in a minute. But I just want to say, boys, every show takes a bit of passion and work, and you know, this is a hobby for us. So all of them, every single one of them in their own right, has been brilliant. So you know, well done for putting them out. You boys have worked really, really hard this year. Sorry, just before we carry on. There is a show that we released on the 15th of January. It was a bit of a lost show. We didn't realise we'd recorded a committee about Star Wars cameos. This was back before Craig had passed. So, you know, he passed away in February 2024. And I think it was like recorded maybe even the tail end of summer 23.
Yeah.
And Craig had edited it and it was sitting in Podbean, like waiting to be uploaded. So it was amazing that the second show of the year for us, just short of a year anniversary of his passing, we were able to put a fresh show out which had Craig with it, and I hadn't heard it for over a year, or probably since we recorded it. So it was a really nice thing to go back to and hear Craig again in something that hadn't been released before, not footage we were just cutting, but something fresh with him. Linking John Williams is into number 3 with Craig. E.T. is in the 10 there, Craig.
So E.T., yeah, not an actor cameo as such, but a species cameo. Spielberg and George Lucas, obviously friends many years, and Spielberg dropped a lot of little Star Wars Easter eggs in his movies through the years, from having, you know, R2 and 3PO in the hieroglyphs in Raiders to, you know, probably the most obvious is Yoda in the film E.T. So so to return the favour, George put a little delegate of ETs in the Senate scene in The Phantom Menace when they were voting against Chancellor Valorum. And at the time, I remember a little bit of backlash. Oh, it's crossing the streams, you know, does not compute. But clearly, its position in the top 3 means that it's it's stuck in our imaginations and something that we are fond of. The fact that it's there, so yay for E.T.
I move for a vote of no confidence in Chancellor Valorum's leadership.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that as a definite fave. Because the committees are just good fun. They're ideal for a walk, a dog walk, a drive, or whatever. It's just one of those things where you don't necessarily need to think about it. You can, as a listener, maybe argue the toss or think, no, I completely agree, or wow, I never saw that. But to have Craig's point of view on there again, and as you say, listening to him pretty much nearly a year after he passed, that was that was great. And because we didn't know that was in Podbean, did we? We just thought for a while that was lost on his computer, and then it was just sort of found on our Podbean sort of account. It was like, wow, no, we've actually got it. So yeah, no, nice, very nice. Great shout, Stu. So that is the cameos one. So the top 10 cameos in Star Wars films. Because I think we said we were going to come back to Disney Plus shows another time. But a whole discussion on, you know, who were the cameos, who were in these movies, and it's a bit of an eye opener. It's real interesting, and a great one.
I recall quite a lively debate about what is a cameo as well.
Yeah. Talking of which, Pete, so over to you, mate. What have you got? What have you listened to this year that you're like, oh, I like that, or I was involved in that, I enjoyed that?
Yeah, it's so good. There's so much stuff, and it's so rich. The content, it's great. So I managed to, since we knew we were going to put this show together, just try and delve back in and refresh from memory on a few of them. But going back to the Palitoy shows, I loved doing those. So we'd done the bulk of them in late 24. I think we'd gone through all the movies and the actual releases, and I think we wanted to, Dan sort of driving these shows, wanted to go back and sort of and answer some of the questions we had and just look into the next eras and that. So I think those Old Fossils 5 got really lively. I think we had some great topics in that. We covered the Colville landfill, which always gets people kind of talking. Does it exist? So we got onto that. We had the Grey Limbs Hoth Stormtrooper, which was also actually debated, and Toy Tony, which is probably the most debated subject in the hobby.
Anthony definitely played the long game on this and resisted the urge of like selling those cards individually as proof cards, or not proof cards, unused card backs. There's a fundamental difference, and people always like, but it's just an unused card back. There is a big difference there. But he resisted the urge for doing that. He really played the long game on that, which is quite an incredible thing. And he also perfected the way of mounting these things to the card back so that it wasn't being identified by any graders or any collectors,
And what do we think he did there? Because there was going back to Jason's original post, he mentioned in that post, and this might have just been him clutching at straws, was that, he potentially went back to the Palitoy factory and had them seal the cards to the bubbles. But it doesn't feel like that's necessarily true, because there's a lot of evidence that the presses that they were using on the genuine figures don't equate to what you see on a Tony, i.e. the impression on the back of the card. So it feels like there's definitely something homemade being done with those cards, as opposed to something industrial.
100%. There's a clear difference when you've seen enough of these things. The Tony seals are no way as impregnated onto the card as the factory seals are. I mean, they're both like smooth seals, but you can see a clear difference between a factory seal and, what we talk about as a Tony seal. There is a difference.
They're just great. Yeah, we had Dave Tree and John Aves on that one, and they're just good deep dives. Just going back into it, and the amount of stuff there, you're involved in these shows, and then you listen to them, and then you just go back and just remember so much rich content there. And just the whole Palitoy show as a series. If you haven't got involved, do. But those, the 4 and 5, I think we go deeper. We go deeper into it. But the 5th one was a great show.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, I was going to say, Pete, on that part 5 as well, the good thing about that was I was able to resurrect an interview I did with Lee Bullock for a planned those old fossils show that Jez was putting together, like with a 4-figure focus. And I think one of the figures was going to be the Snowtrooper. And I'd interviewed him way back when, I think at the beginning of 2022, talking about the Grey Limb Stormtrooper. And he's, obviously he's got his background in science, and he'd done some experimenting on one of them to figure out whether they were legit or not, and, where they actually came from. And it was great to be able to reuse that, recycle it, and make use of an interview that we did 2 years ago, which I know Lee appreciated it finally being released after it sitting on the shelf for so long.
The lore, the history of these as has been kind of passed down as an oral history among collectors, is that these were rejected figures or overstock figures from the Palitoy factory because they had turned up on market stalls and car boot sales throughout the early 90s and late 80s.
So do you think that was a single person selling those, or were they just shipped out in?
No idea.
Okay.
No idea, but I know they were found in bulk.
Okay.
No, they were found in bulk. The upshot, so there's been a lot of controversy about this, and certain people had been saying that they were fake, and they were absolutely fake, and that they were being faked by other people, certain individuals, and all this, and so one time it was at Farthest From, and a very well-known collector talks to me about this, and we decide to have a look at them. I work as a materials scientist, a materials physicist for a company that works on advanced materials, including polymers. So I have access to some equipment that could give us a little bit of insight. So I just started off with doing some simple tests. So I was boil and popping the limbs, and I was weighing the limbs, and the limbs were compared to a normal white limbed version were different weights.
Yeah, his knowledge, obviously, as a toy collector, then you get the science knowledge as well, which is kind of phenomenal. No one's going to have that.
Nice. Yeah, it was the Palatoy shows have been a clear favourite. So many of our listeners are from the UK. It's always been a clear winner from a nostalgic point of view, and they're great. Maybe we'll touch on future Palatoy shows later on, eh, Dan? Wink, wink. But whilst we're talking about shows we've recorded, if I could just chuck one in, just want to give a shout out to the Andor shows. We did 5 shows this year dedicated to Andor. I don't know how many we're going to do next year dedicated to Andor season 2, but this was on
5 and a commentary.
Yeah. A 12 episode commentary. That'd be amazing. Yeah, I'm up
It's
for
a
it.
Rogue One 5th anniversary. We've got to do a commentary for that.
Of course. But
10th anniversary, should I say?
The Andor shows I really enjoyed because, last in 2022-23 I was running with those old fossils. And then I was just like, last year when I wasn't collecting a great deal of vintage and I sort of wanted to move away and open up into other areas. And I knew one of the things we wanted to do was more of the sort of deep dives. And I feel like we did that with the Andor stuff. And Andor episode 1, we just spoke about it in the rounds, and we had Barry Gingell on. We were so fortunate to have Barry, who's, graphic designer, lead graphic designer on season 2. But also Anto Krieger in this series in Andor season 1, and that was a massive coup for us to have someone who'd been on the whole production and knew all the sort of insider stuff. And whilst he was doing these interviews with us, it was pre-season 2, and obviously he knew everything but couldn't tell us. And you can even tell that he's like bursting at the seams, but he wants to keep his job with Lucasfilm. Do you reckon you'd be able to come back, Barry, and maybe join us as we might be able to have a look in the future at season 2?
Yeah, maybe. I'll have to check on my work commitments at that time.
Barry, when you look back over season 1, what your memories of making it? What's the thing you're most proud of about it?
Oh, that's a good question. So it's weird because, yes, it's my job, but there's a lot of personal stuff tied up with that as well, because you are working with your friends, you are this and that. In terms of professionally, just being trusted by Luke to just invent stuff was just special. I felt special. Like knocking up a language, doing the old crest, doing the funerary stone. It's these things that you hope people will remember and take on board. And when you see people doing like funerary brick pillows or stuff like that, like it's just like, as a Star Wars fan, I just want people to not like this stuff. That's not what you mean. You just want to be part of the tapestry. You understand that I'm not going, oh yeah, I'm right up there with Ralph McQuarrie. I don't I don't read that. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like, I very much understand my place. I understand I'm this tiny little cog, but it's just nice being that
To
cock,
be that
and to
little cock, yeah.
yeah, to contribute to something that I care about and that I'm
Yeah.
passionate about and that has been a part of my life for 40 years or whatever, you know.
The analysis which we put in to these shows, because as I said, the episode one, the first episode, the sort of Andor taster for us was an overarching thing, and then the second show was covering the first arc, what we called the recruitment. The third show was us covering the second arc, and so on and so forth, until the final show was the fourth arc of season one, called the Rebellion. And I think that was probably my favorite show. And it was just, I don't know, as you said earlier on, Stu, that we all put a sort of great deal of pride and time into that. But I think just some of the bits and pieces that went into that, and particularly the Rick's Road element and the bits which we were talking about, and just the way in which that show came together, for me as a Andor super fan, and the sort of conjecture and the questioning and what about this? I think Claire's quite important, and where is it going to lead to? Even now, having seen season 2, I still think watching, listening to the season 1, there's so much in that and so much observed, and things which we're all coming out with, and Dan, some of our sort of thoughts and, is he going to be a Sith, or what's going to happen here? I'm not quite sure about this. And it's actually quite interesting to listen to those again post season 2. So yeah, I want to give a shout out to the Andor shows, 5 of them, but yeah, good fun.
Yeah, they were great, and the amount of work you put into those jets, blimey, it's just kind of like full on. And how they came together and got everyone hyped for the new series.
Yeah, we're going to talk about what we're going to do with another series next year, a little bit later on. But yeah, cheers, mate. That was a nice build up to season 2. Right, who's got something else then? Who's going to jump in there?
I'm going to go a couple more. I think we will mention committees quite a bit. I think my favourite Last Jedi was, as much as I like the last one we did with The Force Awakens, I think my favourite was the first 12. And the whole controversy around Archhead Han was just brilliant.
what was that? Remind me about that.
Because he didn't top 10 it, did he? Or something. I remember you got a little bit upset because Archhead Han we got knocked down below Smallhead Han or something like that.
You're right, yeah.
Did we have 2 different hands in the top 10, did we?
We were debating which one. Your hand didn't finish as high up the table as you wanted him. I think you put him in 1 or 2, and he was like...
I think he came like 9th or 10th.
Yeah. It was funny. I do remember it being a good one.
Stormtrooper, interestingly, the listeners and Jez had it in second, and the rest of us had it in first. So an absolute.
What did Jez have in first?
I had Han in first. I'm staggered. I'm staggered. The listeners. I mean, Dan, I'll understand, but listeners have put Han in the bottom 2. Sorry, can we just confirm what were the bottom 2? Was it 3PO and Death Squad Commander?
So in 11th would have been 3PO, and the 12th would have been the Death Squad Commander.
Yeah, so that was my bottom 2. Yeah.
Can I just clarify something? Can I just clarify? If Jez hadn't voted for Han Solo as number 1, would it have been in the top 10?
If you took away Han's 10 points for that, yeah, it would have just scraped in ahead of 3PO.
Tactical voting. I wouldn't have given him no point.
Tactical voting, that is, Jez.
Yeah, it's not. It's
but
not
I had
tactical
him.
voting.
I mean, Han was a big playing one for me as a kid. I had him in 6th. Pete had him in 8th. So there was backup points there.
There's no tactical vote there. I mean, because
of course there ain't.
Seriously, Han is just, when you look at it now, all things considered, you could have him sat in a speeder bike and his arm is still like shooting from the hip. It's amazing. Anyway,
I mean, if the listeners had Chewbacca a couple of places up, he would have jumped from 7th to probably 4th. The listeners had him in 10th.
Wow.
So
what?
Yes.
I think it was just, from an action figure point of view, I think that's probably where I was going. Hannah's an action figure. And I think there were some non-action figures ahead of him, because action, anyway, we're probably redoing
defending it. Listen to the episode. So there's that. And the other one, In Modern Way, is, I know we haven't put a huge amount of them out this year, but I think the one we did back, I think it was in April time, and would have been number 28, I think maybe. We were talking about all the Lego stuff. I thought that was a great call, Stu, talking about some of the history of Lego and going back to those really early sets. And I can see something else blooming from that, because Lego's great.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, it's quite interesting to look at those old sets, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's good. It was good.
I will just say, the Bounty Hunter series has been brilliant on the old fossils. I've only featured on one, but actually they are stacked with information. If you're a collector, from everything, from what you boys do with the cards that are available, the variant villains with what they come up with, the interviews that have been included in there, and Ron's section blows me away every time I hear him talk. I love the way he describes stuff, and the way he articulates. He's got a great sense of humour with the way he records as well.
Hi, this is Ron Salvatore of the Star Wars Collector's Archive. I'm here to talk to you about what I consider the best Star Wars product developed by Kenner during the vintage era. No, not the most popular, or even the most famous. I'm talking the best from a quality perspective, meaning, I guess, the coolest toy. What product am I talking about? It is, drumroll, the Rebel Transport. That's right, the Rebel Transport. Not only was it shaped like a pickle, it smelled like one too. Of course I'm kidding. The Rebel Transport sucked. Like, if the scooter scene from the Book of Boba Fett was a toy, it'd be the Rebel Transport. No, what I'm really here to talk about is the large-size action figure representing Boba Fett. Everyone knows the story of the small version of Boba Fett, how it was Kenner's first individual mail-away figure, how it was planned to include a rocket-firing feature, and so on. But to my mind, the large version of the character has an equally intriguing story, one that's rarely discussed, and which includes its own tale of great plans only partially realized.
Those shows have been phenomenal. I can't. All three of you put so much work in. Dan, they're your love child, and you've done a great job. And they long live them. Can't wait to do some of the lesser figures. Can't wait for AD8 in January. There you go, listeners. AD8 coming on January the 4th.
You're doing yourself a disservice. You were on two of them. You were on two or three of them. You were on. You did Forlom and Zuckus, and I think you're on IG-88 for sure.
Yeah, I might be on IG. Definitely not on Dengar or
Boba Fett's.
Yeah.
They're just so much fun to research as well, because I mean, you just look at these. You have these things, but you don't look at them in that depth, and just pulling them all out and going in deep dive and just having them back in hand and realize why you love them so much. They just bring it back to basics, really.
I mean, let's be honest about it. A Look at the Acolyte was a one I missed, but actually, I mean, I had a lot of positive stuff to say about the Acolyte, because it's in my top 30 things you can watch on Star Wars.
Where you go then? You got the open mic. Tell us what you think about it.
Top 30. That's only because I can only name 30 things. But that's a great recording. I mean, Dan, you basically have a bit of a meltdown at that point. I don't know what was going on in your life on the 11th of August, but I've had to pull over my van and have a little cry for you. I mean, even Jez, you were quite negative on that one as well, which is quite surprising, And then you have Mark Spriggs, who his bar for what things to enjoy is clearly very low. But yeah,
we love you, Mark. We love you, Mark.
Yeah, it was a great fun show, and actually Mark brought some good balance to it. So I'm only joking, Mark, but yeah, brought some good balance to it. It was a funny episode. Like I said to you earlier, I think if you've gone away and made a show this year, you've smashed it. When I look through that as a list, it's really impressive stuff.
All right, so can I just jump in, because Stu, you just dropped two really, really good but important ones there. You've spoken about the bounty hunters, those old fossils, and I just want to say, again to Dan, mate, thanks ever so much. As I said, I've been rolling with those old fossils for ages. I kind of lost my mojo with a little bit, and last year was really, really difficult, and we just were on a bit of a sabbatical, just for various reasons, recording wise. and you were like, "No, come on, let's bring back those old fossils," because that is what brought us all together. We all came together because of our love for vintage. We were on, Star Wars Forum UK podcast, you and I. Then we were on the Vintage Rebellion, and now here. And you had this vision that you wanted to bring those old fossils back. You were still doing it in the wings with the Palatoy ones, but to bring this back the way in which you've done has been great. We've been really, really fortunate with Chris and Ron and with the guests, as has been said, and having Brian Rockfall on for the Rocket Fire and Boba Fett show, having Brian on and all of his experience, and Chris Georgulius giving us a really great insight. That is top tier. The stuff, the Bounty Hunter in particular, I'm going to say the Boba Fett shows have been absolutely brilliant. So again, I just tip my hat to you, mate. Thank you very much. But the Acolyte one, I mean, we have always said all eras, all passions, all Star Wars, and I was determined to do it. And I watched the Acolyte, then I watched the Acolyte again as part of this analysis. And I think, Dan, did I surprise you with how things went? Because you thought I was going to provide an element of balance. It was going to be you against me, balance, and Mark, sort of super fan. It didn't quite work out like that, did it?
No, I don't know if I was surprised. I thought you'd defend it a bit more than you did.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, sometimes you've been quite, I don't know what's the word to use.
I've always been a bit of a defender.
Belligerent in your defence of certain things, but with that one, you kind of the gloves are off.
Yeah, I've always been an all eras, all passions defender, and I've tried to keep the peace as best I can and see the positives in most things. And I felt that the Acolyte show was a good, fun show because there was, a whole discussion about the show in the background and some of the positives, some of the negatives. But what we did with the Acolyte show is something which we haven't done before, is in that deep dive of a Disney Plus show, we decided to do 2 committees. Now, we've never done a committee before within Book of Boba Fett deep dive or Kenobi deep dive or any of the Andors or anything like that. We'd never done a committee within a show, but we, in that Acolyte show, decided to come out with our top 5 worst elements of the Acolyte, but also our top 5 positive elements of the Acolyte. So it's just something a little bit different. It's not a particularly long show, but it's, I enjoyed that. And I think there's a little bit of laughter in that. So, I'm going to chuck that one. Well, in fact, Stu, you chucked it in. So, thanks very much for that.
Some of the choices didn't make sense in that way.
Okay. I completely agree with you. And I think that segues beautifully because you said some of the choices just didn't make sense. Mog.
Oh, is there a character that's more wet in the entire universe?
Master Benestra, Senator Raincourt's here to see you.
Where is he?
He's in there.
You let him in the control room?
I reckon they should do like a Frank Spencer type sitcom set in Star Wars, and he could be like a Frank Spencer character.
I don't get it.
Some Jedi do have them.
Do you know what? I was writing all my notes, and as I was watching this, like the last time through, every time I saw something, I would like, oh, I like that, or like, oh, that is good, or I really like that, or I wrote Mog, and then I C-bombed, right, on my iPhone, because I tell you, he just winds me up. Everything about the Jedi in this, they are deliberately made to look stupid.
I reckon that he's like a cosplayer, and they were like a celebration and saw some geezer dressed up as a Jedi, and I said, "Do you fancy a part in our show?" Because he's the acting, like, I just thought his line delivery, the whole, it just jarred the whole show whenever he was on. It was not good.
The lines were awful. Everything about what he was doing, but it's not just Mog. It was every time there were token Jedis, and that's what I'll call them. At one stage, Venestra turns around to Mog and says, "Prepare my ship. Grab all the knights you can." Because they're off to Brendok. She then does nothing with them, and they're just
dithering around. No one is saying anything, and the only one who really does say something is Jackie. And even some of the stuff she just does say is putting down Jord all the time, or Jord. And I don't know if this is a male-female thing. I really, really don't. But it's just all the ones who they want to appear popular and they want to appear good. It's just all of the regular Jedis are just being made to look like absolute fools. You know, they're just going off to do something really, really important. And then Mog is distracted with Basil. Oh, Basil, there you are. Thank heavens for that. It's just like, no, mate, just get on and do it. He's just an absolute cluster, and it just winds me up, lads. Just winds me up.
Peter, anything else, mate?
I think we've got to mention your Galaxy Tours show. That was, I think it cropped up earlier on. I think Stu liked it so much it gave him an itch. So it's, a great show. The passion that you show in that, you could just tell how much you enjoyed it, and quite a different show for what we normally put out, kind of sort of Generation Skywalker on tour. But that was great. It's got the interview with yourself and Dan. They go through the whole trip, give you the whole lowdown on what happens, how to do it, and how much you enjoyed it. And then you got the interview with David Anderson, who's the founder and CEO of Galaxy Tours.
For us to be able to say that no one does Star Wars tourism in Tunisia like us, I really wanted to back that up. So I wanted to have all this research, all the documentation, all the secret sauce material, that reference material that we share with guests. You enjoyed that on your tour. I wanted to have all that in place, and then we had to train Tunisian guides, in order to get to that spot. And so it took some time, but now we're there and we're rolling. So it's fantastic. So that's a little brief history of what it looks like.
Brilliant. So you've honed it over the time, because I think initially you were looking at the minimum we're going to do is a 4-day tour, but now you do a 3-day, don't you? Yeah, which is clearly what I did.
Yeah, absolutely. We do a 3-day, we do a 4-day, and we do a 6-day tour. And then we've actually added day trips and half-day trips. So if a lot of, especially from the UK, now that EasyJet flies directly to Jerba or to Hammamet, especially Jerba, it's really easy for a lot of our British clients just to do a half-day trip or a full-day trip. So we do provide that as well in both the Jerba region and also in Tozer. So those are things we add. We want to be able to bring the joy that we provide guests, and especially Star Wars fans, and even tolerant spouses or partners of Star Wars fans. All of that together, we would like to provide that in as many different formats as possible. Obviously, our multi-day tours, which we call Twin Suns Expeditions, our 3-day, 4-day, 6-day tour, those are the most immersive, because you're also enjoying. It's the full package. It's not just going to the sites and gaining the Galaxy Tours expertise at sites and having the experience. It's all of the restaurants and the hotels that we have handpicked in order to have a complete holiday experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I said to Dan just now that, I had this amazing holiday with a sort of break either side and the essence of the sandwich right in the middle, which was the Galaxy Tours. I love the idea of the individual day, though, just jumping out, because again, when I was talking to Dan about it, and I had just gone through all of day one, and then we stayed at Hotel City Idris, I was like, that would have been enough. That's a huge bucket list thing there is. But there was just more goodness to come. So yeah.
Yeah, I think if you were considering it and you give that a listen, that would, send you on your way. And I think you obviously had a great time with Jules out there, and it sounded like a fantastic trip. And I think you should get that on TripAdvisor. Get a link to the show on TripAdvisor, because anyone on the fence, that would help them out to make their decision.
Because that one I also did as an enhanced show. We haven't done many enhanced shows this year, but I did that one in enhanced just because I took so many amazing photographs. So this is the two of us going away with Galaxy Tours, who take you to all the original film insights of the original trilogy, well, of A New Hope, of Star Wars, but also some from the prequels as well, and Indiana Jones, if you want that. But it was an absolutely incredible holiday, and and a nice little interview and something, as you say, something a little bit different. So yeah, I enjoyed the Galaxy Tour show, and we have really branched out and done some different stuff. Dan, you phoned me and did a recording whilst I was in an airport, and we wouldn't have thought a couple of years ago that that would be a show, would we?
No, had to do some smart editing on that, or use some tools to take all the background noise out, because it was a noisy background. But I think we came up with something that was listenable, and it was great hearing your experiences out there in real time as well while you were still in the country.
Yeah, so that was Star Wars Celebration, and it was a bit of a Star Wars Celebration download where I gave my probably quite fatigued but deep insight into what the experience was like as a fan, reminding myself of what fandom should be, and sometimes we can lose sight of that, and maybe I'd lost sight of that on the first day, but also sort of calling out the organisers for some absolutely disastrous decisions which they had made, and some really positive things about Japan as a country and as a nation, but the positivity which is Star Wars Celebration. So Dan, thanks for going to the trouble of putting that one together whilst I was trying to fly my way back from Japan. It was just something a little bit different, and maybe we'll do more sort of roving reporters in the future. Who knows? Who knows?
Great. Really, really good. Really positive.
So let's talk about, you mentioned Cosmo, but let's talk about the Narkina 5 run. I imagine that was a highlight for you.
Yeah. So I saw 2 Narkina 5 runs, because one of them initially I was like, hey, is that right? So for the Andor panel, you could see that there was a load of people preparing for a Narkina 5 run. And I was like, are they doing this in the Andor panel? And then, oh wow, does that mean if I didn't have a ticket for the Andor panel, all I need to do is get some white pajamas and put a bit of like orange striping down it, and I'll get in the end. But I think it was a case of, right, if you got a ticket for Star Wars Celebration, if you've got a ticket for the main stage and you have an Andor thing, come and do an Andor run around. So they did, I think they had just over 100 people on stage, all shouting one way out, and then running around the auditorium to sort of Benny Hill music. I think it was like the sort of Benny Hill music. It was really weird. It was really surreal, because I was just like, well, you can't hear them shouting one way out. It was just like one of those sort of theme tunes of them running around. And I was like, I'm sure this isn't what they originally thought it was going to be. But then I think it was, later on that day. I don't think it was a Sunday. I think it was later on that day that there was a proper tour run around. Yeah. But it was quite funny, because the imagination which goes into that now is there's people not just in the Narkina outfits, but with like armbands and with life rings around them, and like, living inflatables and stuff like that, because obviously, of Kino Loy's inability to swim. So that, we can't guarantee that all the Narkina lot go through him. So, there were a little Narkina family. It was cute as anything. It was so cute. Well, it was lovely to see some of these cosplayers and the Japanese cosplayers, their families as well, being all like little kids dressed up in various different things and melting our outfits. It was just, that was all, very, very funny.
Very good.
I think it's, don't know about you lads, but I'm a little bit thirsty. Time for a drink?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a Jack Daniels, I think. Neat.
Right, okay.
Where are you going, Master? For a drink? Thank you.
You want to buy some death sticks?
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Well, it's 2025. We've said it's been a big year. What are our plans for 2026? those old fossils. Dan, I'm going to come to you. Backbone of Generation Skywalker. Those old fossils as a concept. Where are you taking it in 2026?
Well, I can only plan so far ahead, but kind of the next show's kind of in the chamber. A couple more figure focus shows early part of the year. We're going to look at the AT-AT and the AT-AT driver, and then the Imperial Commander and the AT-AT Commander as two shows. And at some point, I know the release of it's been delayed because they had some storm in Ireland. The Total Star Wars, the Palatoy saga from Brian Hickey. So that's due to land, I think, early January. So I think once we've all had a chance to digest it, we will do a follow-up and an interview with him and a six-part of the Palatoy guide. So hopefully we can get Dave Tree and John Abe's back on as well, and Brian, and discuss the book. So we've got a show planned for that. I'd like to do another Those Old Fossils Get Hammered around May time.
Yeah. Can you explain what that is?
So we did an episode. I think we released it. It's late May, early June, and there's a lot of auctions that happen around May the 4th. Feels like there's, you've got Oberon auctions and Vectis auctions, CNT auctions, and generally, they're a dedicated Star Wars auction, or certainly a big representation of Star Wars within the auctions around that May the 4th date. Generally, there's some absolute gems in those auctions, and I thought it was a good opportunity to talk about bidding on online auctions, because we hadn't really gone through that before. I mean, everyone uses eBay, but auction houses can be a little bit scary for people maybe that don't know how they work or how to bid on them. So we kind of went through the whole thing of what it's like to be a buyer and a seller on those auctions, and talked about the auctions themselves that happened last year. So hopefully we can follow up on that and do another one and take a look back at some of the recent auctions and discuss our thoughts. I think it's a good barometer for the state of the hobby as well, with some of the prices of things achieved.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're right. Those Old Fossils Getting Hammered. You brought it out on the 15th of May, so not long after all those interviews.
Yeah.
All those auctions. So nice one. I like the idea of what you're bringing out. Oh, go on.
Yeah, do those, and then some more figures. So depending on, I'll give the game away, but obviously the Mandalorian's coming out in May, and we might be doing some Mandalorian shows. But I'm thinking we could pluck some vintage figures out related to each season of Mandalorian, and maybe take a look at those through the early part of the year.
I like that. I think R5D4.
Yep.
I see where you're going with that.
You could have Baby Yoda, you've got Grogu, and you've got Ugnaught.
Bad IG, yeah.
Ugnaught.
Yeah.
Ugnaught, Luke Jedi. There's a few in there.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to get one. Don't tell me one. Death Star droid.
Yeah, we'll have that. Yeah. Nice. Oh, I like it.
A bit of Death Squad Commander in there as well, isn't there? Surely.
Apollo Creed. We'll see how we go. We're not going to go mad. We got a whole gear. But yeah, that takes care of the first half of the year. We'll see about the second half.
Brilliant.
88 special,
yeah.
You can come on that one, Stu, and you can host it if you want.
He's underrated. He's a good character. He's a good figure as well.
Those Old Fossils, would you ever consider doing a Chewbacca bandolier strap dedicated show?
Yeah.
That'd be easy one to turn around.
It'd be a really short show, wouldn't it?
But I think it'd be one of our most downloaded ones, because it's just such a great piece of vintage. I'm just looking at mine now. I want to be.
Perhaps you could do it as a double feature with the Rebel Troop Transport, Dan, and me and Pete could just sit it out, and you can just have a moment with Jez.
You got yours on, Jez? Do you wear it around the house?
Without a doubt.
It's just full of
nostalgic
love. It just takes you back to simpler times with your Bush Walkman. Your Bush Walkman. I'm not talking, you filthy animal. Anyway, it's just, I love the bandolier strap.
Isn't the Walkman only a Sony product in your it's like when people say, I'm going to do the hoovering. Well, actually, I'm going to do the vacuuming. I think the Walkman word belongs to Sony.
You're right.
We need more people like you in the world, Stu.
Yeah.
I think he needs correcting, Dan, because when I say things wrong, Jez jumps down my throat.
Okay. I'm glad you're on this pie. Thanks, mate. That's really, really lovely. Okay, so yes, that's your plans for Those Old Fossils. Plenty of shows. Bring it on. We love it. Stu, right? Now, if I had £1 for every time you said, I'm going to do a shows dedicated to the power of the Force.
He's giving you some stick, mate.
I'm just saying, Stu, you were going to do maybe the modern way. Where are you going to take the modern way next year?
Wow, this is incredible. I mean, I was going to come out with what I was going to do, but I quit. No, I am going to do the Power of the Force this year. It should have been this year, really, because it was the anniversary, but we will get there. It's just, I just need to break down those show notes because it's a big topic. So I need to work on that. Perhaps over Christmas, I will sit and get a notebook out. But yeah, the modern way we're back. We're going to cover. We will cover releases as and when. We did get a bit behind with them, and then have to do like a massive dump. At I think it was. I'm trying to think what show it was now. Let's go look at your list there, Jez. I can't even see the modern way when I last did one.
A couple of weeks ago.
You did a gift for gift.
Gift for gift,
April,
yeah.
and then the gift for gift. Did I not do one in between that? No, I didn't. Yeah. So we kind of missed that. So maybe announcements every 3 months unless there's something. What I might try and do if there's a big announcement like when HasLab drops something or something like there's an event and they have a big announcement, maybe just jump on with one of you and just do like a 15-20 minute segment.
Yeah.
And put it out with what's come there, and then just keep the modern way
ticking over.
fluent and kind of.
I really think going into, I mean, last year was pretty, well, this year, should I say last year, it's this year still, it's been pretty quiet, on that front. I don't think we've missed a huge amount. I really don't.
No. I think the first show in January needs to be the state of the hobby, because I do think, so I'm in a lot of modern groups, and there's a lot of discussions and stuff about how big the, what's going on in the hobby is just repacks or, taking the Fett figure or a Mandalorian figure and keep repainting it and coming out as new figures. I think we need to delve into it a little bit more with the numbers and actually what people are getting, because especially the second half of the year, like those announcements at what is it called, MCM, were
flimsy.
There was 2 or 3 really, really good announcements, but they were just so light on the ground. So yeah, I think January we will delve into what the hobby looks like, what the numbers were this year, and have a proper dissection of what's going on in the modern world. But like we said on the last show, there's 5,000-6,000 figures out there since 1990. If you want to collect modern Star Wars, there is so much good stuff out there, and so many of those lines you can pick up for what they came out with at the time. So
definitely,
yeah, plenty of stuff to delve into.
That's a Mandalorian line, surely. Mandalorian and Grogu line has got.
You've got Mandalorian, Grogu. You've got Starfighter coming out. 50th anniversary of Star Wars. There's loads of opportunities to do it. Maybe it's just been having a sleep.
A line, though? We didn't get a line for Rise of Skywalker. Will it just be the usual? Well, we will see. Big time. We will look at the Mandalorian. Mandalorian had quite a few toys out. Perhaps we'll delve into that as well in the modern.
Get a movie repacks. I can see that coming.
Perhaps we can have a week where we have the modern and the vintage come out in 1 week, Dan, and we look at the figures. You can do your no pressure. Okay.
Cheers.
Nice, mate. I'm probably most excited about your Power of the Force 2 stuff, because, as I said, I've said to you this before over a couple of beers and stuff, that I completely missed that line growing up, and as a young adult. I think that I want to learn. And I know that you guys know so much about the Power of the Force 2. There is so much more to it. And I think, to quote one of you, it's so much more than just those muscle figures that people make reference to. The line is brilliant, it's fast, and if we can do something dedicated to that, I think that'll be a real sort of educational bit, which I'll be really, really keen to be a sort of avid listener or participant on, mate. But no, please do that. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Pete, mate, what is on the 2026 horizon for Pete? Is there anything?
I think the books, as you kind of hint at, is a good idea. I wasn't with you guys when you did your book month a few years back. Well, was that EU stuff?
We did all sorts, mate. We did collecting books. We did go back and listen to it, so you know what you've got to do.
It was in 2020 and 2021 that there was a whole month dedicated, to books. And we had different people on. We had all sorts, didn't we, Stu? It was They were really, really popular. I
interviews.
think
Yeah.
there was a whole thing dedicated to the Thrawn, yeah, I think the
Yeah.
books could be a really, really good one to get into.
I'll have a look. Maybe sort of more, I might flip it and do sort of forthcoming books as opposed to published books.
Mm.
So what's coming out? We've got a few books. There's some good stuff coming next year. You got the ILM book. There's the Art of Andor book. Whether we're going to have some Mandalorian and Grogu publishing earlier or around the release of the movie. I know they were those Art of books. They tried to get out nearer to the release of the movies, but they've sort of slipped a bit. So there'll be some stuff coming out along the lines there. So yeah, I can maybe go down that route. Maybe the hobby history. I think just listening back to some of those old fossil shows and how much there is in the sort of UK collecting sphere and how much isn't necessarily written down or actually there could be an angle to look at and get more out of Davetree and people who were around and try and get all of that recorded and try and get the actual physical articles and try and sort of put together something on the lines of Chris G's scrapbook. You guys know that?
Yeah.
So trying to pull together a load of UK focused stuff might be quite a fun angle to go down.
Nice.
Kind of related to books and publishing.
Yeah, sweet.
And I think, I mean, if you go down the book line, Pete, I think there's so much anything to do with literature. There is so many rabbit holes to go down with that. Whatever you came up with would be an incredible journey. I mean, I know that the literature is so popular amongst so many fan bases out there. Just yeah, I want to see you interview people. I want to see you delve into it, break the book down. Read extracts.
Should you read it like instead of kind of commentaries? I just read a whole book.
You could start like a book club up. You could say like beginning of January, we're all going to go away and read Splinter of the Mind's Eye, and then like 2 months later we all come back and discuss the book.
That's a really good idea. That's a really good idea.
Yeah,
that's a really good idea.
You could do like 4 books a year, like quarterly, and just people could go away and listen to it and offer their views on it. Be a really good yeah.
Jules goes to a book club like once a month or so with some of the ladies in the village, and whether or not they read the book or not, they just turn up and just like drink wine and have a laugh. And
sounds like a really good recording.
Maybe we could just do that. Yeah, look, the first one, I don't know. Dan, what do you think? Oh no, I've not read it. Nor get anyone.
Do any picture books?
Who's that aimed at?
Dan.
I think that was aimed at Dan.
I've got loads of books.
Oh, they're all colouring.
I bought a book off Pete the other week.
Exactly.
I like that idea. I think that's great.
I think, and collecting books. I don't know if there's any collecting books, not that I can think of off the top of my head, any coming out. But
there's some great collecting books we could go back and revisit, Pete. I mean,
absolutely.
I think, Pete, you're getting stitched up, mate. But I think the Total Star Wars Toys the Palator story could be your first
What am
foray.
I saying? I'm saying we haven't got a collecting book on the horizon, but Jesus, there's one literally. There's one caught in a storm off the coast of Ireland as we speak. But I'm sure we're going to do that show anyway. But okay,
I like the sound of that.
Book club. Okay.
Make a note of that. I think that was a good one.
I have made it. Yeah. I've made a note of that, Stu.
Yeah, I'm pretty awesome, really, aren't I?
You are amazing.
I've got some other shows to come up with in a minute as well. I've come up with. Yeah, we'll talk about them in a minute.
Well, I got a couple of plans, and so obviously mentioned it earlier on, Andor Season 2 deep dive. That's going to happen at one stage, but my priority, which I'm going to be starting straight away in 2026, yes, is when you consider our deep dives, and we've had some amazing deep dives. What was one of our first ones? Was it the Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, that was the first one we did.
The first one, that was great, wasn't it? With Mark and Craig. So Book of Boba Fett we've done Kenobi, we've done Andor,
Ahsoka.
Done Ahsoka. Oh, that was good fun as well. We've done all these things. But what we didn't do was the flagship show for Disney Plus. We haven't done Mandalorian.
It was all planned. It's all been planned this way.
Yeah, indeed, because I think this works perfectly. So now, as we are getting ready for the Mandalorian and Grogu film to be released in May, we are going to do a whole series of stuff dedicated to the Mandalorian. And not quite sure how we're going to break it down. Dan has already mentioned about an element of those old fossils as well, bringing that into it. But we are going to break down seasons 1, 2, and 3. I might have 2 shows dedicated per season. We might split the seasons up into 2. So we'll just get 6 shows out covering those. And there's a nice build up and then sort of hype show prior to Mandalorian and Grogu, the first fresh movie from a Star Wars point of view in the cinema for years. So yeah, definitely going to be going into the Mandalorian and then over to Andor season 2. And I have said, we mentioned it earlier on, we'll then do Skeleton Crew. So those are the plans which I've got. Dan, you've already mentioned getting hammered. Stu, you said you got a couple up your sleeve. I don't know if that's another beer show or some more committees. What were you thinking you wanted to get done?
I mean, beer shows. It's been a while since we did one of those. I think if we go down that route, we do need to lean on our good friend Kimberly to come back and guide us. And I can never forget that first beer show where that was around Christmas time. I can remember going in my office, sitting down and drinking 12% beers, and like we'd suddenly move on to a beer, and I've got a whole pint and necking it. And then when I came out of my office 2-3 hours later, was hammered. So getting hammered really does fit with the beer show. But yeah, committees will return again. We have got Andor best bits. No, Andor. What was it? Andor.
It was the characters.
The best characters from Andor, which we recorded back in the summer, which I would imagine would be the first release in January because that is ready to go. So that gives us a bit of a week to get something recorded new. But so there might be a couple of funny kind of lines in there about how hot it is because it was in the height of the heat. So, yeah. But our first 2 committees, I don't know whether I've told you these, boys, the first 2 we are going to record in January, about 3 weeks into January, is going to be, like we went through the first 12, we're going to go through the last 17.
Oh.
Figure by figure, and then rank them because I don't always feel they all get a lot of love, but there is some amazing figures in there. So it'd be interesting to hear what people's opinions are on them. And we're also going to record music from the original trilogy.
Yes.
No doubt Jez will try to put in A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi in 3 entries, but we will put music from the OT. Now, wouldn't it be lovely if a member of our community came on and joined us for that? So if you fancy recording those 2, we do record them in 2s. Now, bit of a leak of how we do these, but we record 2 at a time. So if you fancy the last 17 and music from the OT, we would love for you to join us. And I will get the last 17 boys from I will get a community top 10 like we did with the first 12, just so Jez can go, why have they not got Han? Because they didn't have Han Solo in it at all, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, Han Carbonite.
Yeah. Well, Han Carbonite, yeah. Oh, Pete, I'm looking forward to hearing your view on Han Carbonite.
Yeah, I really like it. Love that figure.
I know you like it, yeah. Indeed. I have got some other shows. Now, Dan, you came to me the other day about breaking down Lego through the years.
Yeah.
As a show, which I think would be great. I'm quite into Lego at the moment. And I think year on year, Lego did some the way it actually evolves is quite interesting to see and the journey of it. So perhaps we will visit that next year.
Yeah, maybe it's one we could, like the Palatoy shows, we can dip in and out of them. We haven't got to have them coming out constantly. But yeah, it'd be good to cover, I don't know, 2 or 3 years at a time. If I don't know how much Lego was released at the start, but do, chunks of years in terms of what they were putting out.
I think once they began in 1998, I think it was pretty consistent with a lot of releases. So it'd be interesting to see what the best era was for that kind of product. I don't want to go through everything I've got. I do think we need to get more interviews on, more guests on, standalones, and hear people's journeys because our slogan is all eras, all passions, all Star Wars. We need to get fans of all sorts out. I know Pete's going to get no end of book fans on now. He's in charge of books, but be great to hear more. But I would also like to do a remembering series. Now, we have lost so many stars from Star Wars over the years, and in 2026, on the 13th of August, is 10 years since we lost Kenny Baker, and on the 27th of December, it'll be 10 years since we lost Carrie Fisher. So I would love to do a focus show on those 2 people, their careers, maybe get some clips. I mean, Carrie Fisher's got some amazing interviews and stuff, get some cuts and clips of stuff for them talking about Star Wars, and just cover them and celebrate them because they're no longer with us. And I just think it would be nice just to sit down and chat Carrie Fisher, you know. So I will make those happen. August and
That
December
is a lovely idea.
Nice.
It really is. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great as well? I'm sure we've had stories where we've all met Carrie Fisher or Kenny Baker. I met both of them, and great experiences with both. To be fair,
Yeah, I mean Jeremy Bullock, Peter Mayhew. There's that.
all these
That's
people, yeah. And I think a couple a year when you hit in anniversaries of deaths and stuff will be good. I mean, Peter Cushing, Alec Guinness, these people, you know, just leaving little memoriams, really.
Oh, well, mate, that is a lovely way to end our plans for the year. You're talking about two absent friends. Let's have a drink.
Yes, okay.
Gispi ubahasa miyokula. He says you spilled his drink. That's fine. It's on me.
Whew, lads, sounds like a busy year from a recording point of view in 2026. That's nice. Now, we all came together because we're collectors, right? So our collecting goals, I just want to know, what did you come into this year wanting? What did you manage to get? Best bits, right? And so what did you come into 2025 wanting? What did you manage to get? And what are you hoping to acquire in 2026? Peter, going to come to you first, mate.
I certainly would have come into the year looking for the R2 pop-up on a tri-Lego to finish the last 17 run, and I managed to get that at Echo in the spring, so I ticked that one off pretty quick. And I'm sure a 30 back would have been on my list as well, and I managed to get two of those just this last in November. Picked them up at the last Sandown, so I managed to pick both of those up. But I've missed out. I always after a really nice blue snaggletooth and just keep not picking one up. I'll keep missing.
The price has really dropped on those, hasn't it? Because it's on my list, and actually, at one point it got like over like 600 quid, but they're back down to about 350, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's one of those. They just don't. They're not rare. There's loads of amount you can see. You would think there would be fewer of them. I guess there was overstocks, but they're muchly out there in every toy show. Well, certainly at Echo, there's normally a few there, and they come up in quite a few of the auctions. So I'd like to tick that one off. But yeah, I think I did quite well this year. So yeah, Blue Snaggletooth will keep on the list. And I think, yeah, what do I want? Doing the Pally Toy shows and the Bounty Hunter shows, just more Pally Toy carded figures, I think, for next year. Nice. Yeah, and an A-Wing and a Skiff. So yeah.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Okay. And a hot toy. I think we all remember you saying that you wanted to get a hot toy.
Oh yeah, hot toy. Sorry, yeah, I forgot I didn't have that on my list. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, I'll put it on there. Yeah. Hot toy. And a hot toy. Yes.
Dip your toe in there.
There's been some nice ones announced recently, Pete.
There has indeed. The Leia, the Leia Bausch is now.
Oh, the Leia Bausch. Yeah, that's it. Let's do that one.
I'll get that one. Okay.
It's nice.
Put it on the list.
Really nice.
That one. Cool.
Boosh. But anyway, we'll move on.
I would go with Boosh as well, but I just went with Pete after he said Bausch. So.
Leia Bausch Bausch. That one.
You need to order it now, Pete, otherwise you're going to miss out. You can't wait for it to be released. You've got to pre-order it.
Should I do Stuart and order 3 of them whilst we're chatting?
No, just one.
It's nice to have a live purchase. So, yeah, do it.
Good, the bad, and the robot.
Do it.
Dan, what about you? What do you think? What did you come in with? What did you...
I didn't come in with a lot because I'd kind of been taking a break, but I finished off my 65 back run of Palatoy cards with the 9 off on the back. So that was a nice thing to finish off, and I think there wasn't anything else I was really looking for. But then, yeah, like anything, when we start recording these shows, you start kind of going down rabbit holes with stuff. So I did carry on picking up Palatoy carded figures. I did get a Dengar sealed in his baggie, which was nice to go with my mailer. I've had an open baggied one for years, but that was a nice thing to get. And that Vader 45A that I got last month from C&T was nice as well. I think from what I'm after for next year, I think I still want to get a Boba Fett in a mailer and a Boss mailer. More Palatoy cards. There's a nice couple of auctions coming up in the early part of the year. I've already been looking a few bits over there and getting some of the hot toys I've been ordering in. So the hand Besbin, the Chewbacca with C-3PO on his back, TIE Fighter pilot. So yeah, modern vintage, it's all good.
Oh, all eras, all passions, all Star Wars. That's you, Dan. Stu, mate.
I couldn't tell you what I said at the beginning of this year. You know, a massive decline with collecting. So I've hardly picked anything up vintage wise. I've been back on the trying to finish the loose run again,
Yeah.
which I kind of had not done anything, and then I got to Echo and managed to pick up 3 really, because I've been making sure they're perfect figures this time. So I picked up 3 at Echo, and then at Farthest From, I managed to pick up a Luke Stormtrooper off himself, Jez, which is nice. And then while we were having a glass of red wine on Saturday night, I managed to get an Ugnaught off Jabba's Court.
Yeah.
And that came, and it's really got a lovely blue apron on it. And actually this week I have added 2 more. So it is down to 14 left, but 8 of them are last 17. So I'm not going to give myself anything massive. I'm hoping next year we will finish the loose run and I will get my room sorted. And I think once I get my room sorted, it might just give me the little kick to get back involved. But I might have nothing left by that point.
Okay.
So it might be starting afresh. But yeah, I think if I can return to collecting, I will pick a shelf and pick a theme and work on one thing at a time rather than everything all at once.
Okay, cool.
What about you, Jez?
So I guess this year I came in thinking I still want to get a Palatoy Death Star, and that's been on my list for a while, and I managed to get a Palatoy Death Star, so I was really, really delighted with that. Dan, that was bought on a nice tip from an auction house at the beginning of the year, and so I was delighted to get a Palatoy Death Star. I got it in a nice little acrylic case. A DT Luke is something that I've wanted for years and years and years, and never thought I'd be in a position where I could. And now, all of a sudden, because my lad's no longer or finished at uni, I'm finding that I've had a little bit more disposable income now. Before that gets absorbed into the household thing, I was like, "Oh, quick spend!" So I managed to treat myself to a DT Luke, which I'm really, really pleased with. So 2 sort of real big ticket things this year. From a collecting point of view, it's been great. I've got my mojo back, and I had lost it last year from a collecting point of view, and it's just ventured outside of vintage as well. It's Celebration, or not long after Celebration, I managed to get my Celebration exclusive Stormtrooper, the cherry blossom one, which I love. I'm looking at it now, and it's under the Christmas tree, but I've just got myself my first lightsaber in, 40 years. So yeah, I bought them in the past for my kids and stuff, but no, I've just treated myself to a lovely lightsaber, or at least I hope it's lovely. That I'm going to get that on Christmas Day. So, and I never thought I'd be getting one of those at the beginning of 2025. So yeah, for me, it has been all ears, all passions. What am I going to look towards next year? I don't think there's much. There's not much which I feel like I need. It's already been mentioned. An A-wing would be nice.
Large size Boba Fett.
Large size. Yeah, I was very close to pulling the trigger on one of those earlier on.
Mate.
So, a large size Boba Fett. Thanks very much to thanks very much indeed to Ron for suggesting how good that figure is. So yeah, maybe a life size, maybe a large size Boba Fett. That would be good. But I'm actually really, really content with my collection at the moment, and I don't think I'll be downsizing, and I don't think I'll be upscaling much at all. But a good year.
You boys have been busy, haven't you? When I look at what you've done this year, I think you've all been. I mean, Jez, you've been here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
Event-wise, to go to Galaxy Tours and Celebration.
Yeah.
In completely different. I mean, we're not even talking different countries. We're talking different continents.
No.
And then you've been to Farthest From and Echo and Anmore, and
it's been a great year.
Yeah,
it really has. Yeah.
And then I listened to all 3 of your purchases. Yes, okay, not huge long lists, but what you're picking up is of the highest you know, we're talking quality items now, not you're no longer finding Nikto Return of the Jedi cards, which are great in their own right, you know. But yeah, all three of you, you know, you've stayed with the hobby, which is fair play to you. Yeah, not really nice stuff to hear, boys.
And it is nice that you talk about long lists. It is nice just having not feeling like, you know, you've got to get it all at once. It's all good and nice and spread out and even.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Patience.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, that Death Star's been what, like, I don't know, 16 years coming, maybe. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Patience.
You mean 60 years coming?
Very good. Should we have a drink?
All right. All right. All right. All right. I can take a hint. We'll have one more round. This one's on the house. I'll run a tab for the Empire. Just one more round, friend. Then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Just one more song.
Right, lads. So that's yeah, collecting wise. Whew, yeah, nice. But what are we looking forward to watching and going to in 2026? What's first around the corner? Anyone got ideas? What could be January, February, March time? Anything tickle your fancy?
Sandown in February? Aren't we all gonna?
Yes.
I'm the only one that's not been to one.
Yes,
I
great
will
show.
be there.
Right. So Sandown, we're going to in March. What was it? March the 7th. I'm not going to be there. I'm away. With you
Okay,
guys.
we're all going to plan to be there. Hotel's booked, just waiting for the tables to go up.
Echo Live. Right. Okay. So we've got Sandown February, Echo Live in March. That's going to be great. Yeah, I'm gutted I'm going to be missing that one. And then next thing on my radar, Mandalorian and Grogu movie coming out in at the end of May. Yeah.
Really hope we can all get together for that. You're all welcome to come around here for a barbecue and go to Cineworld or whatever around the corner and watch it.
That will be nice. Now, there's something else I've seen coming up on my feed a little bit. Galaxy Palooza. Anyone know anything about that?
It's the guys from Sessions, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Star Wars Sessions. I don't know much more. I don't think there's a great deal of information out yet. I've not seen a great deal online. I don't know if they've said anything on their shows yet, but whatever those guys get up to, it's always good fun. You know, they've done all sorts of stuff. They've rented theatres in the past and they've put on their own sort of movie shows and they are just into all sorts. So I'm sure with their connections now, the Galaxy Palooza could be a really, really good fun event to go to. Is that near your neck of the woods, Stu? I'm kind of thinking it's a little bit more sort of because they're from your sort of they're Essex boys, aren't they?
They're Essex boys, so it's about I can get to Essex in about an hour.
Yeah.
So, but Dan can probably get to Essex in an hour as well.
Yeah.
Get to Essex in about an hour.
Yeah, well, there you go, Galaxy.
You can get to Essex in an hour as well.
All right. So yeah, that's one to look forward to on 6th of June. That should be great. Well,
to Essex.
Yeah. Ahsoka season 2. That's coming out as well next year, isn't it?
That confirmed?
No dates yet, but yeah, it should be out next year. I think the thoughts are we all get Mandalorian Grogu the first half of the year and probably Ahsoka in the autumn or maybe Christmas next year.
You're absolutely right. So yeah, filming finished. I just had a quick look now. Filming finished last October, and they think its likely debut is going to be late 2026. So yeah, a few things to look forward to, and who knows what else is just around the corner. But 2026, from a collecting point of view, from an event point of view, from a TV and movie point of view, it's pretty good times to be a Star Wars fan, isn't it, folks?
Yeah, I think the other thing that's happening is obviously the celebration tickets will go on sale as well for 2027.
Ooh, yeah, fair. Good show.
That should be imminent, I imagine.
Should be a bundle.
Indeed. Nice.
Start clearing your social media now.
This will be a day long remembered. It has seen the end of Kenobi and will soon see the end of the rebellion.
Well, lads, that's this show all wrapped up. That's Christmas wrapped up. That's 2025 all wrapped up, and we're looking forward to 2026. I think, speaking on behalf of everyone, we just all want to just say a massive thank you to everyone who's been on the show over the year. Everyone who's contributed to the show. Everyone who's listened to the show, downloaded the show, commented on our social media, and from Chris, from Brian to Ron to Variant Villains to Mark to David to everyone to Lee, all these people who have come on the show and contributed. Thank you so much. It means the world to us, and we look forward to even more next year. If you've been a listener for one show or for 150 shows, just please get in touch. And if you want to come on, and as Stu said earlier on, if you want to be on one of the committees, or if you've got an idea for a show, please let us know. We are all eras, all passions, all Star Wars.
I never doubted you for a second. Wonderful.
So yeah, we're all across social medias, various platforms. Start with Facebook. So we've got the main Generation Skywalker Facebook page. We've also got the We Are Generation Skywalker Facebook page. So the we, if you want to get involved and talk to hosts and other listeners, best to join the We Are Generation Skywalker page. It's a private group, but you can sign up for that, and one of us will let you in. On Instagram, we've got a couple of pages on there. We've got the main account. So if you just search Generation Skywalker, you can find that, and we post all of our new show announcements on there, as well as other bits of fun. And then we've got the vintage page. What's that? Gen_vintage.
Yeah. So it's Gen_Skywalker_vintage.
That's it. Yep. So Jez has been pumping out all some vintage content on there. If that's the part of Generation Skywalker you're interested in, so head over to there and join up to that. And we've also got the modern page, which hasn't been as active lately, but I've been sticking a few bits and pieces up there over the last couple of months, so we can get a bit more going on there. We're also on TikTok and TikTok and Threads, and we are on YouTube. So I've been putting a few videos up on YouTube over the year. They're not enhanced, but I've thrown a few shows up, and also we've got the Galaxy Tour show on there as well. So yeah, we're spread out across all of them, but hopefully, if you're on any of those platforms, you can easily find us and follow and subscribe.
Wonderful.
You have your moments. Not many of them, but you do have them.
That's it for 2025. It's time to say goodbye. So, Peter, goodbye from you.
So yeah, goodbye. It's been emotional, and a good night, and happy New Year to everyone. And good night.
Dan.
Yeah, I think the one thing we probably haven't mentioned is it was our 5th anniversary this year. So we've been going 5 years now, and we've been through the mill a little bit. But this year's hopefully we've come back strong, and looking forward to the 6th year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good night from me, and happy New Year, everyone.
And it's good night from Stu.
Yeah, I've been a bit absent this year, but I promise I'll be fully back on board next year, just to wind Jez up more than anything. I think he needs it in his life. But happy New Year from all of us, and thank you all, everyone that's listened to even 5 minutes.
And it's thank you and happy New Year from me. We are Generation Skywalker, all eras, all passions, all Star Wars.